Hello everybody, my name is Laura Dale and I am a chemometrician and work in the South West Germany milk recording organizations LKV Baden-Württemberg. I am a doctor in agriculture and also in animal science and biotechnology. Together with my colleague Andreas Werner, we are working since 2012 on creating prediction models based on mid-infrared standardized spectra and dairy cow phenotypes. The eMissionCow project is a founded German project with milk recording organizations, laboratories, and also research farms as partners. The project concentrates on the prediction of emission and efficiency, related phenotypes, and their potential application. The aim of the study was to compare energy balance, energy efficiency, energy consumption, and feed efficiency, and different methane equations based on the MIR spectral predictions. The objective of this study was to evaluate different methane equations in order to improve the quality of the prediction obtained and to choose the best model. From the work at the Wallon Agriculture Center and Jean-Bleu Agrobiotech, in cooperation with Optimir and EMR partners, the Metagen Group and the European project G+E, a methane equation with SF6 and climate chambers measurements was created. This model is now also available to DLQ through the eMissionCow project as a new consortium member. Here, the methane model is expanded to include measurements on Simmental cows. The new RPD is of 1.8. These new data increase the variability and the robustness of the equation. With the data from the Optico test farms and financed by the DLQ, it was analyzed the energy balance, net energy lactation, and also metabolized energy, and it can be seen that there is a difference in the RPD between standardized and non-standardized spectra. This difference is of 0.5. But for the variability and the robustness of the model, the standardized and non-standardized spectra was combined. A model with an RPD above 2, it can be used for root screening. With the data from the Optico test farms, it was analyzed also the energy efficiency together with milk standardized and non-standardized spectra. The energy efficiency is the quotient of the energy intake from the dry matter and the amount of milk per cow and day. It can be seen that the RPD here is bigger than 3 and the differences between standardized and non-standardized spectra is not anymore so big. The equation is satisfactory and can be used for fine gradient. With the same data, it was modeled the feed efficiency in kilogram energy corrected milk per kilogram dry matter, where the RPD is also more than 3. Here it can be seen the predictions of the methane equation with spectral data from the Optico project for each lactation week. We can see that the colored data series are different. This is due to the different four feeding regimes, based on the ratio with 6.1 and 6.5 megajoule NaL, and each with lower N or higher H concentrated feed. The graph on the left shows the methane equation in grams per day, and the graph on the right shows the methane equation emission relative to energy corrected milks in gram per day and kilogram energy corrected milk. The differences is much clear visible in the relative emission. Why? Because in the region from 100 to 270 lactations days, the values of the different feeding regimes differ most clearly. The differences between the ratio with lower and high concentration feed also appear very clear here. It is very easy to see the feeding regimes with low energy and low concentrate feed and higher proportion of forages have more methane per day and per kilogram energy corrected milk than feeding regimes with higher energy. In cooperation with eMissionCow and Remission Dairy, LKV Baden-Württemberg prepared a draft report for test farms in order to evaluate the relevance and usability of new predictions for herd management. The reports were designed for farmers and consultants. In climate status, methane, feed efficiency, and energy status report was shown the milk MIR parameters that reflect the energy status of the cow or herd. What is displayed? First, two main groups of fatty acids, the de novo group, mostly formed from the feed, and the preform group, mostly formed from the metabolization of body fat. Then there is the energy balance with net energy lactation, energy efficiency, energy consumption, and feed efficiency. And last, methane with absolute methane and relative methane values. The new methane and energy predictions are presented in the table along with identifiers, lactation number and stage, classical milk recording results. On this slide, you can see a set of plots displaying the link between milk parameters and daily methane emission. The upper plots show the daily energy-corrected milk over methane emission. Compared to the left plot, it can be seen that the energy-corrected milk have a strong and clearly correlation with methane emission per kilogram energy-corrected milk showing. Cows with higher energy-corrected milk have a lower methane emission per kilogram energy-corrected milk. The plots below show the link between feed efficiency and methane emission. Again, it can be seen better correlation with methane emission per kilogram energy-corrected milk. Cows with lower methane emission per kilogram energy-corrected milk has also better feed efficiency. The information we want to provide to farmer and advisor is that the prediction should be kept well within borders for each reasonable threshold have to be developed. Veterinary diagnoses registered for the cow near to the milk recording date are also plotted in the different colors. For example, reproduction are in green, udder disease in orange, lameness in gray, and metabolic disturbances in red. Cows with health problems appear rarely at the border and can tell if the herd managed goes in the right direction with regard to feeding efficiency management. This link has to be elaborated forward. On this slide can be seen again the plots of absolute and relative methane emission per day. The upper plots show the energy intake per kilogram dry matter. Here it can be seen that the higher energy concentration in the feed is linked with the lower methane emission per kilogram energy corrected milk. The plots at the bottom show the link to energy balance again on the right side with a stronger and clearly positive correlation to methane emission prediction per kilogram energy corrected milk. True negative energy balance is linked to lower methane emission. This should be avoided because extreme negative energy balance come mostly with reduced feed intake. Extreme body fat mobilization followed by health problems. This indicates the red versus green boundary areas. In this slide are presented the Pearson correlation between the methane and diagnosis of the current test day with the predictions from standardized spectra. Here we can see that the diagnoses are linked to lameness and also to udder and metabolic reproductions, as well as the diagnoses have been correlated to fat and almost all fatty acids, but not to de novo fatty acids. In the same time, it can be seen that the methane has a positive correlation to energy intake from feed dry matter, as well as energy corrected milk and also milk yield. Also to kalium and de novo fatty acid, there are positive correlation. Negative correlation were found to fat, protein, feed efficiency, lactoferrin, natrium, magnesium, also blood components as adiponectin, insulin, EGF-1, and fatty acids as preformed fatty acid, C17, and total C18. Here is another new LKV BV report from farmers and advisor which identifies energy-related MIR predictions. Fatty acid groups as de novo and preform, the energy balance, energy detect, a model developed in the OptiMIR project for the detection of cows with extreme energy balance status are in this report. Also, there is provided the ketosis risk classification using ketomir developed in OptiMIR and ketomir 2 developed in D4 dairy by using traffic lights classification schema. The report has been designed and developed within ELENA project and has been further elaborated in the D4 dairy project in order to evaluate the ketomir 2 predictions. What has been done so far is only a small part of what could be still done. The equations for the determination of methane, energy balance, and feed efficiency are statistically highly meaningful and allow a comparison between groups of cows. The further developments that could be carried out at all levels are, for example, reports and application for feed and energy efficiency, because MIR-based application for reducing emission and optimizing feeding are good tools. Another further development could be calculation of new breeding values based on correlations between genetics and MIR indicators. I would like to thank to Optico and DLQ for energy and feed efficiency equation, to D4 Dairy for the work on ketomir 2, and to Sierra Valloni and OptiMIR for spectral standardization. If you need more details about standardization, please contact European Milk Recording Organization. Also, thank to eMissionCow and Remission Dairy for this work presented today. Thank you for your attention.